Hey, how's it going, guys? Here's your daily fantasy baseball matchups for August 13th, 2020. First game I'm going to cover is Padres at Dodgers. Chris Paddock on the mound versus Julio Urias, who was supposed to start last night. Urias is a lefty going against this Padres lineup. Tommy Pham, Manny Machado, Francisco Mejia are all solid, decent options tonight. Mookie Betts, Will Smith, Max Muncy, I like them for the Dodgers. Chris Paddock and Julio Urias, I would normally say are good options, but considering they're going against two of the top offenses in baseball right now, I'm not gonna pick them up in too many contests. Next contest I'm going over is Cubs versus Brewers. Hugh Darvish versus Brett Anderson. You're not gonna be picking up Brett Anderson today. You're just not gonna be picking him up, but you will be picking up Chris Bryant today. 1 home run and 3 at bats versus Brett Anderson. Ian Happ, I don't really like Ian Happ too much today. He's not really good against lefties. Kipnis too is not really good against lefties. Javier Baez is good against lefties. I would target Bryant, Baez, and maybe Boyd today. Boyd if you need to save money. I'm gonna try to point out some guys that are really cheap guys. These aren't, you might be like Boyd, Boyd might not even start today. Boyd might not even start today, I know that. But if he does start today, he might give you a home run and you paid really nothing for him. And the money you saved on Boyd is being put to get a really good player. It's $1,000 extra to make your team that much better. It's about finding that bottom. You want to find the cheapest, best player you can. That's what value is about. Hugh Darvish going against the Brewers. You're going to pick up Yelich if you have the money for it. Keston Hiura is a solid option. I don't pick up Keston Hiura a lot too much because he's already pretty expensive. He's already a high-end daily fantasy value. He's the same price as like Nick Castellanos. Eric Sogard has 6 walks to 3 strikeouts against Darvish. I like that against Darvish, but I don't think Eric Sogard is going to hit a home run against Darvish. I think Darvish is a really solid pitching option today. Next matchup is Pittsburgh at Reds. That's a really good ballpark for hitters. And Trevor Williams is not a solid pitcher, so Jesse Winker is a really good pickup today. Who homered yesterday. So is Nick Castellanos, and so is Tucker Barnhart. I pointed out Barnhart and Mejia so far. Those are 2 catchers that you should be picking up today. I think it's really important to have a guy at catcher that you know is going to start first of all, and a guy at catcher that is not going to just be swinging a bat and striking out 3 times and losing you points, because it does seem like catchers are just woefully bad at hitting nowadays in the major leagues. I don't know if it's always been like that, but wow, I mean, catchers just don't have it together with the bat. Joey Votto, decent success against Trevor Williams in his career. 25 at-bats with a 4.23 on base. Definitely take a look at Votto today. And another cheap value option. I'm going to say, because I think the Reds' offense, you want to find cheap value options and offenses that you think will have good days. Because it's going to be hard to find that, of course. But Josh Van Meter, for a pretty cheap price, might get a couple runs and RBIs if the Reds put up 10 runs against the Pirates today. On the other side, we have Anthony DeSclafani going against the Pirates. I like DeSclafani a lot today. He's about $2,000 cheaper than Darvish. Guys I like on the Pirates today, it really stops at Colin Moran when it comes to power potential. This Pirates lineup is not known for power. They're more of a defensive speed batting average lineup. It's really Colin Moran and Josh Bell and Gregory Polanco are supposed to be their power bats. And you're not really seeing too much from Bell or Polanco nowadays. So Moran maybe, but I'm really avoiding all those Pirate hitters today and most days. We have Tampa Bay at Boston Red Sox. Glasnow going against the Red Sox. Glasnow is a pretty solid option. He's going to cost you $1,000 more than DeSclafani though. And this is against the Red Sox. $1,000 more versus a better offense. Think of that. So before you just say, Glasnow is a good pick, but you got to pay the price for him. $1,000 more dollars. And then DeSclafani is going to get a better offense than DeSclafani. That being said, the Reds and the Pirates have not hit righties too well, but we'll get into that later. I'll show you some splits on that later at the end of the video. JD Martinez has decent success, a home run in 5 at-bats versus Glasnow, and so does Michael Chavez and Mitch Moreland. Definitely take a look at Mitch Moreland again. As I've said before, anytime Mitch Moreland's going against a righty, he's actually a pretty solid option. There is no data for who the Tampa Bay Rays are versing because I think Kyle Hart's going to be an opener. I don't see that going more than 1 or 2 innings. The next game we have is Baltimore at Philly. Really no data to be talked about for Tom Eshelman versus these Philly batters. Jake Arrieta, not too much data really. It seems like no one has success that he's versed. But I'll give you some batters in the Orioles lineup, though, to keep an eye on if you want to find cheaper options in this Orioles lineup that doesn't really have a lot of big names. At catcher, you have Chance Cisco, who has a good prospect pedigree and who's making some big gains to get more playing time. Another guy is Hanser Alberto, who's been hitting around 300 for this whole season. He's getting a lot of looks by people, and he's kind of considered one of the breakouts of the year. Washington Nationals at New York Mets. This game's probably not going to be in many contests. It's probably only going to be in a contest that is designed for these 2 games only. So there's some contests that are just designed for 1 game. I like all the Mets hitters today. I actually don't really like David Peterson though for the Mets today. I like the Mets hitters because I don't think Austin Voth is that good of a pitcher, and because I think the Mets hitters will be really good against righties as they've been, and I don't like David Peterson because the Nationals have been really good against lefties. So what I'm showing you right now is a leaderboard ranked showing you all the teams that are versing left-handed pitchers today: Washington, Tampa Bay, Chicago, and San Diego. And I'm showing you this sorted by the OPS from best to worst. So the Nationals have an 1,000 OPS versus lefties. The next best team is the Padres. So you really want to look at those Nationals hitters today, and you really want to avoid David Peterson going against the Nationals. Unless you think there's something about David Peterson where he has a pitch that separates him from other lefties. But if you don't think that, I would definitely avoid David Peterson today, and I'll definitely stack guys like Asdrubal Cabrera, Starlin Castro, Howie Kendrick, and just take a look at that Nationals lineup yourself. And any guys that, even if it might be a cheaper guy, they're probably due to have a decent day because that's crazy. An 1,000 team OPS and a 339 team batting average this year versus lefties. They're like one of the best. Not the best on base, but 1,000 OPS for a team versus a whole handiness. For the righties, we have the Mets, the Orioles, the Phillies, Red Sox, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and Los Angeles Dodgers. The best team versus righties, it's kind of a cluster at the top with Baltimore and the Dodgers and Mets right behind, and Philly. With Baltimore being so good, though, I don't really mind streaming Jake Arrieta against them today. I'm not really too scared of Baltimore as a lineup. I don't put as much weight into Baltimore being good as I do the Dodgers, the Mets, and I think the Phillies are due to increase that. So Mets hitters I like, Dodgers hitters I like, and I think what's even more important with this with these splits, instead of finding offenses to target, I think it really helps to see what pitching matchups are good, because there wasn't really anything here that separated any teams. If you notice, 720 for the worst team against lefties is our fourth best team against righties. So these teams today really struggle against righties. A 521 OPS versus righties for Pittsburgh, a team batting average of 180. Cincinnati too, not the best team batting average, but their on base and OPS are better. They hit more home runs and they walk more. Pittsburgh really struggles against righties. So Anthony DeSclafani is a big streamer for me. I think DeSclafani is my streamer of the day. Him, Glasnow, and Darvish are the guys I like the most today from a streaming perspective. This is provided by Fangraphs. You go to the splits leaderboard, team, then you go here and you could pick whatever teams you want. And then you click here and you have to update it. It's a very nice tool. You can use it for players, for teams. There's a whole bunch of options. That's it for today, guys. If you have any fantasy baseball related questions, you can find me on Twitter at SNooge. I'll put that in the description. Good luck, guys, and have a good one.